Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am back with part, I think it's 28 we're on for our full book colour along in R.J. Hampson's gorgeous book Awake. This one is called Might As Well Jump. I think it's so cute with our little bunny rabbits here. And yeah, it's going to be a fun page to do. I'm going to use a lot of different colours today after last week's one, which was pretty much all green. So nice to have some colours. So for my bunnies, I'm kind of going to do, I'm going to add a few little details, which I think will be fun. It's nothing strenuous. Let's just have a little bit of fun with it. But I'm going to start with E310 and Y12. So these are kind of going to be the markers that I use to add some little details to my bunnies. I'm going to see how it goes. It might not work brilliantly, but we'll give it a try. So I'm going to start with this guy, and I'm going to add kind of a patch around his eye. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of a little bit of a patch in here. And I'm just going in, this is the Y12 that I'm using. I'm going to start with that marker and just kind of lay in my patch where I want it to be. And then I'll go in with my darker one, which is the E310, and add a little shadow. There's not a huge amount of difference between these two shades, just adds a touch of shadow. And then I'm going to do his ear in this same color combination. So again, I'm using that Y12 to kind of lay that in. So this is a little bit different from the way I normally color, which would be to lay in my darkest marker first and then go in with my lightest to kind of add all the details. But I just felt like I kind of want to just lay in the color. I'm only using 2 markers, so I'll lay in the color first and then I can add that darker marker to add my shadows. So it's just another way of doing it. Okay, so sorry, I got a little bit interrupted there. We're just gonna, like I say, add in a little bit of that shadow where we think it needs to go. And like I say, there's not a huge amount of difference between these 2 markers, so you might want to kind of go back and forth over it a few times to really deepen that up. So there we go. Where else do I want it? I think I'm going to add a little bit to one of his little hands here. So his hands, I guess they're paws on a rabbit. I don't know, look like little hands. So again, just going to add that Y12 on and then the E310 over the top where I want that shadow to be. Okay, so that's the first bunny. That's all I'm going to add to him. I think I'm going to add a little bit of this to this guy down here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different pattern for him. He's going to have a little splodge down here. And maybe, I do like the look of their ears, having one darker ear. So I'm going to add it to this ear this time. And a little bit to his hand. So because he's a bit smaller, I'm going to do all of it at once. And then it go in with my darkest marker to add the shadow. And again, there's not a huge amount to add here, so I'm just going to roughly add it in. Okay, do I want to add splodges to my other bunnies? I kind of don't want to overdo it, but yeah, why not? Let's kind of make them all look a little bit interesting. So we'll add, what we'll do with this guy is we'll do his ear. And we'll kind of bring it down into a kind of splodge around his face here like this. So he's got a kind of one side of his head is kind of like going to be this brown color. Just keeps it a bit interesting. So he looks like he's wearing a onesie. And this guy's got a little romper kind of outfit, as is this guy. So we're going to worry about their kind of clothing in a bit. Let's just do the bunnies themselves first. So again, adding that darker marker where I feel like it needs to go. And kind of around the back of his head, I think. Yeah, that'll do. And then we might as well add a splodge to this guy as well, the upside down bunny. Where do we want that one? I'm going to just smooth that out a bit because I feel like that's not very smooth at the moment. Just kind of Smoothing that colour out a bit. Right, there we go, that's a bit better. Okay, and then, yeah, the last one, I don't know, where do we want to put that? Let's kind of do it like so, around there and up that ear. So they've all got a little bit of a difference. Avoid his eyes. The eyes are kind of, I've got to admit, the eyes are kind of creepy, but we'll fix them in a bit as well. Towards the end of this colouring, we'll do something about their eyes so they don't look quite so blank and starey. And I think we're going to do a little bit on his hand here as well, or his paw. And a little bit of dark marker. I don't think whether he's upside down, the shadow would kind of be down here. Okay, you kind of can't see the shadow a huge amount, but that's fine. Okay, so that's the kind of details I'm adding to my bunny. Then I'm going to go ahead and colour them in. So I've got Y11, E210 and Y120, which is kind of going to be the kind of main colour for my bunnies. So I'm going to start, in this case, I'm going to start with my darkest marker and just add it where I think it needs to go. I might as well do his hands as well. I feel like I've put the shadow in the wrong place there, so I'm just going to colour it all. Now, if I was using my Copic markers, I'd be using my E50s for this, which is a nice, they're kind of nice creamy brown colours. I can't find anything that's quite the same in my Ohuhus, so this is kind of the closest I can come to it. I just really like this kind of nice creamy colours for my rabbits. When I colour rabbits, I tend to reach for these kind of creamy colours. But yeah, I can't find anything quite the same in my Ohuhu range as I've got in my Copics. But yeah, like I say, this is kind of the closest I've been able to find for them. And I think it works okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's a little bit more yellow than I would like, but yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, so there's bunny number one done. Let's do this guy. So I'm kind of going to do him more in sections because he's a bit bigger. Let's start with his ear first. Just going to fill that out. And then we're going to go, kind of going to, yeah, because I want this side of his face, I feel like the light would be more on the left hand side of him. So what I'm doing, I'm just avoiding kind of, I'm not going over the part I've already coloured. I'm just kind of adding the shadow around that, if that makes sense, just to kind of keep it separate. I don't want the colours to mix. I want them to look separate. They're not, not the same colours, so I don't want to mix them in too much. And I will probably end up adding a bit of a kind of colour to their nose and kind of creating a bit of a cheek on my rabbits as well, but I tend to colour them completely first and then worry about adding those details in later, and I'll show you how I do that when we come to it. But yeah, they are super cute, but just their eyes are a little bit kind of creepy. But there are ways of fixing that, so we will sort that out in a bit. Okay, let's do his little paws. Might as well do them both at the same time. And the feet, they, like I said, because they look like they're kind of wearing like romper kind of things, like baby, like baby clothes, don't they? So I'm not going to worry about doing their feet because I feel like that's all part of their outfits. But we're going to have a lot of fun with the colour of their outfits. I think we can make them nice and bright and colourful because the rest of them is kind of quite plain in a way, isn't it? Although we've added the extra details of the splodges to their little faces and ears and stuff, but it's kind of boring brown. Is brown boring? I don't know. You know what I mean. I'm going to add some nice bright pops of colour. The thing I like about this kind of this colouring book and colouring all these pages in is that they are so colourful and bright, and I want to keep that going throughout. I don't really want to just have some really like plain neutral pages. I want them to look cohesive and all the same. Lots of bright, colourful, you know, images, happy images. Okay, last bunny, let's do him. So again, he's quite big, so I think I'll just do his ear first, and kind of colour his face in next. I think he's quite a big guy. He's obviously closest to us in the foreground, and the others are a little bit further back. Okay, let's do the rest of his face. So again, kind of just avoiding that brown area that I've already put in. I'm just going around with my darkest marker to create my shadow. And like I say, I feel like the light is kind of coming from the left-hand side, so the shadows would be more concentrated on the right. But you know what, I don't stress too much about it. It's not like it's a realistic drawing, it's just a bit of fun. So yeah, don't panic about stuff like that, just enjoy the process. As long as you're having fun. And sometimes on the bigger areas it can be harder to get those nice smooth blends, so don't be afraid to go back over the colours again with your markers and add a second layer just to kind of smooth everything out, because it can look a little bit patchy with the first layer. Okay, let's do his little paw, hand, whatever. It does look like a hand. It looks like a little baby hand. Kind of cute. I don't really know. I mean, yeah, rabbits have little paws, don't they? I'm trying to think what a little bunny paw looks like. Okay, this one's got a nice little round belly. Add a little bit of shadow under there as well. They're very, very cute. They're kind of like the bunnies, well, they are exactly like the bunnies that we coloured. I think it was on like the second page, or was it the first page with the little owl teaching them in the little, it looked like a nursery setting. Okay, bunny's complete. Let's add some nice colours to their little outfits. So I've got a selection of markers over here. I've kind of pulled out a rainbow of markers, from blues to greens to pinks to purples to yellows. I've kind of gone for more pastel shades though. So I've got PB7 and B050 first up. And I'm going to do that on this guy's little kind of romper type outfit thing he's got going on here. Whatever it is, it looks kind of comfy. So yeah, all for that. I like a bit of comfort. And I'm just using 2 markers for each of this. There's no like massively big areas, although these guys have got slightly bigger areas, but I think 2 markers is fine. Feel free to add more, you know, make it your own, do how you see fit. Change up the colors, make them a little bit different if you want. You could make them all be wearing the same kind of colored outfits, or maybe have, you know, the 2 in the, there's actually only one in like a proper baby suit, but yeah, feel free, change it up. I'm gonna use these 2, YR070 and R19 for his kind of top. And again, because he's upside down, I kind of have to remember to change up where the shadows go. This is kind of like a nice pastel orangey shade, kind of almost like a corally colour, and it's very cute. going to deepen those shadows there a little bit. But again, we're keeping this really basic, nothing, you know, too strenuous. So I was looking at that thinking maybe that's a collar, because he's got a collar on his shirt. So let's do, yeah, let's do some green kind of leggings. So G140 and G120 for his little leggings here. And we'll make him a little bit coordinated in a sec. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm doing all of this at once, which I know, you know, I keep saying you should keep to small areas, but we're working quite quickly. It's not like we're doing loads of detail here. I will go back and add that shadow again. And like I say, when you're working on a slightly bigger area, it pays to go over that area a couple of times to get that nice smooth look with the marker. Let's just deepen that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to use these same greens. I'm going to start with the lightest color though and just do a layer of the lightest color all the way across. And then add my shadows. Okay, and then what color should we do his top? We might go for some, yeah, we might go for some purple shades. Yeah, so I've got P3 and RV160. Let's use these. Kind of like a pinky purplish color combination. You could add patterns, you could add polka dots and stripes and all that sort of stuff to their outfits as well. Yeah, have fun with it. Make it your own. I'm going to keep mine plain because, you know, that's what this colouring series for me is about. It's just quick and easy colouring, getting pages done and trying to complete this book and just like having a little bit of fun with it. But by all means, add your own details if you want. Okay, that's two of them done. What other colours have I got? I've got a yellow here. Should I do a yellow romper? Let's try it. So I've got Y3 and Y121. So we'll do this guy. Oh, got the wrong end. We'll do this guy all in yellow, I think. Kind of baby yellow. That kind of nice pale yellow colour. It used to be, didn't it? When you had babies, it was like pink or blue. If you didn't know what colour, what sex the baby was going to be, you got yellow. So, I don't know if that's still the case anymore. I never wanted to find out what I was having. It was always a nice surprise. So with my three, I kind of had a feeling with my daughter, I had a feeling that she was going to be a girl, but I was pretty convinced that I was pretty convinced that my middle son was a boy, just because it was such a different pregnancy from my daughter that I was convinced it must be a boy. But with my youngest, I thought he was definitely going to be a girl. So, and he's definitely not. So yeah, but it was always a nice surprise. Okay, so last bunny left. Let's see, what colours have I not used? I've not used pink yet, so let's pull out my pink. I've got R14 and RV030. So let's add a bit of that. But I don't really think anymore that there's kind of like real boy and girl colours, is there? Because like and I think that's awesome. I think it's good to see men embracing pink and women not being afraid to wear whatever they want. Like, it's all just color, isn't it? It's all fun. And my daughter turned out to be such a, well, when she was little, she was very into like wearing pretty dresses and all that sort of thing, and then she just kind of completely rebelled against that whole thing and went really the opposite end and got a bit, you know, like jeans and t-shirts and and now she's like baggy hoodies, and yeah, that's cool. It's so cool to see them getting their own personalities and deciding what they like and what they don't like, and just really becoming complete individuals. It's really cool. It's one of the best things about being a parent is really just seeing their personalities come to life, which I love seeing. And they're all so different. They're all so different. Yeah, they definitely keep me on my toes. Okay, so we got a nice pink top. Let's do some blue, because we've only got a little bit of blue. I think the blue will look nice. So I'm going back to that PB7 and B050, and we're going to add a touch of that to the little legging romper things here that he's wearing. Add a few little details in. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, just enjoy the process, have fun, make it your own. But yeah, at least it's got a nice little bit of colour in it now, not just all browns. I don't know, I love like pastel colours. They always make me happy. Okay, I'm just going over this a couple of times because, as I say, it's quite a big area, and this one is looking a little bit patchy, so I want to go over it a few times, and then I'm going to go back in and add that darker colour again, just to emphasize those shadows and kind of make them really stand out. Okay, right, we've got a couple of other details left to do. So the ears, I'm going to bring those pinks out that I had before. I'm just going to use the lighter one, which is the RV030, and I'm just going to add a touch of the pink to the inside of their ears, because every bunny needs a little bit of pink in their ears. And then I'm going to use that same marker, and I'm just going to add a touch of pink onto their noses here as well. I'm just going to go straight over what I've already coloured there. Just add a little bit of, I mean, there's no kind of like defined nose, but I'm just kind of adding a little bit in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pink to their cheeks as well. Just a little circle. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just to kind of give them a nice little rosy cheeked look. Straight over what I've coloured. So there we go. Then, oh, I've missed out the cuffs on my little rabbit here, so he's going to have blue cuffs. Again, I'm just going in with the lighter colour first, then I'll add that darker marker. So they're all nice and coordinated. Now, with the bunny rabbit's tail, I'm just going to add that lightest marker that I used for their kind of faces, which is Y120. And I'm just going to add a touch of that to add a little bit of shadow, but I want to keep it mostly white. I'm just adding a little bit in just to kind of create the look of a little bit of shadow. He hasn't got a tail. Okay, then I said I was going to try and do something about fixing their eyes. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to take my black Jelly Roll glaze pen here, and I'm going to try and add a little bit of an eyeball into them so that they don't look quite so starey and a little bit spooky, quite frankly. So we'll just add a little eyeball at the bottom. I think it just makes them look a little less creepy. Just like that. And then I'm going to add my usual gel pen details. So I'm hoping my gel pen's going to work for me today. I've got my Sakura Jelly Roll in the 08 size. So as always, when I put this down, I know it's annoying. I'm going to turn my page just because I've added that glaze. I don't want to get white gel pen everywhere and spread the glaze around. So I'm just going to turn my page so it makes it a little bit easier for me to get to the areas that I want to add some gel pen details to without smearing everything else that I've already put down. And I'm kind of like, I'm not really doing a very good job of this. I'm just kind of putting it in wherever I think it should go. There's no real rhyme or reason to this. We just have fun and hope for the best, really. Yeah, it's not perfect. But I think it all looks okay in the end. It doesn't have to be perfect. Such a cute little image, isn't it? Right, let's turn it back around again. I can get to the other bits now without smearing too much, hopefully. My gel pen's not showing up a huge amount. It doesn't have to. It's just, as I say, it's just a little bit of an added extra in places. I tend to try and put it in the lightest areas, so it looks like that's where the light is catching, but again, it doesn't have to be. And I don't always remember to do that. Sometimes I get it wrong. So just do whatever works. Whatever you feel happy with. And I'm sure it will look fine. Let's put a little bit down here. As always, it's all just about having fun, and as long as you're doing that, then we're doing something right. Okay, we're just got a little bit to put on the baby bunny back here. I don't know that it's really showing up a huge amount on these kind of pastel colours, but we know it's there. So that is it. Do I want to do anything with those little bouncy lines? Do I need to? Probably not, but let's add, I've got a little bit of BG4 here, and I'm just going to add to those kind of movement lines that RJ Hampson's drawn in, and just kind of use a little bit of a blue marker over the top of them. Again, you don't need to do this, it's just a little added extra, and we're done. That is, might as well jump. And I think it's so cute. And I definitely think the bunnies look a little bit better once you put those little eyeballs in rather than just leaving them with starey eyes. So that is it, page 28 complete. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.